who are not happy about rising early, those of you who are more afternoon people, please be aware of the fact that we are doing these afternoon classes once a month. They will be the same class that I teach in the morning. However, if you start a project in the morning and you want to stay and finish it in the afternoon, and you are here in person, you may leave your things right where you started them and continue on them in the afternoon. That is an advantage for those of you who are here in person. Obviously, those folks who are at home, you're more than welcome to return in the afternoon. You will be receiving a new link for the afternoon class, however, so you will have to re-register for our afternoon session. All right, any questions about that? You can always message me in our chat box and I will be happy to answer those questions. Today, we are continuing our celebration of LGBTQ plus month. This is the month of June, and in the United States, we are fortunate to be celebrating the contributions of gay and LGBTQ plus people. And because this is an art class, we are going to be looking at the work of visual artists. Today, our artist is an artist who was a personal influence on my choice to become an artist. I really admire this artist tremendously. His name is Ellsworth Kelly. He was gay, and one of the first American artists to proclaim himself as gay. So he was openly gay at a time when it was still difficult to be a gay person in the United States of America. He was a painter and a printmaker and a draftsman. He was born on May 31st, my son's birthday, so we have that connection as well. May 31st, 1923, in Newburgh, New York. He had a wonderfully long life. He died in 2015 at the age of 92 in Spencertown, New York, where he spent a large part of his life, most of his life. We are going to start by looking at a slideshow of his paintings that we're going to look at and discuss. And then I have a fantastic painting project for us to do today. And this is a project that folks at home, as well as here, can do with very simple, easy to find materials. Any questions before I begin the slideshow? Folks at home, I'm hoping you can see this. If you cannot see the slideshow, please let me know. Here we go. Ellsworth Kelly. So he's often called a hard edge painter or color field painter, also a minimalist. I think of him as someone who uses color in blocks or forms. He is someone who pared down his work to the basic elements of art. And we've talked about, those of you who are my veteran students, we've talked about the basic elements of art a lot: line, color, shape, form. And when you look at Kelly's work, which we're going to do right now, you're going to see what I mean. He emphasized those things, line, color, and form, using very bright colors. His work appears to be very simple, but he was a deep, deep thinker. He frequently did, oh, thank you, Laura. He frequently did cutouts prior to doing the paintings. He was very deliberate in creating the compositions of his work. He did not leave too much to chance. And he started his work in a time where abstract expressionism and people like Jackson Pollock were much more in vogue, people who were freer in their approach to work. So he was a bit of an anomaly. He was a bit different from his contemporaries. He was very much influenced by artists like Henri Matisse and Pablo Picasso, whom we've mentioned before. And you can see that influence quite a bit in his work. His earliest influence was John James Audubon. It's an artist we talked about, but it's been a while. Audubon was a very famous painter of nature, particularly birds. And Kelly grew up in a very remote area called Newburgh, New York, and then later in Oradell, New Jersey, near the Oradell Reservoir. And his grandmother gifted him with a book on ornithology when he was only 8 or 9 years old. Morning. And he fell in love with these paintings by Audubon. And he just became captivated by the color in these works and became passionate about it. He became a bird watcher and often spent a lot of time out in the woods and became a bit of a loner. He had a slight stutter in his teenage years, and that kept him on his own as well, inhibited him in his social interactions. He was lucky to go to public school at a time when progressive education was very in the vogue. And he went to public schools that stressed learning through experience. And he had a lot of exposure to art and the arts. Art was pushed a lot in public schools in those days because of what was taught at Columbia University's Teacher College, where an American modernist painter, Arthur Wesley Dow, was a prominent teacher. His parents were not in favor of him becoming an artist, but his school teachers encouraged him. The artist, Eileen, was Arthur Wesley Dow, D-O-W. Now, his parents would only pay for him for technical schooling and training, so they did pay for him to go to Pratt Institute of Technology, which some of you may know is not only an art school, but it's also a school of architecture and engineering. So they were willing to send him there. And he attended Pratt until 1941. And he was then inducted into the Army on New Year's Day, 1943. This turned out to be a gift for him. You would say, why? Being in the Army, how could that be good for anybody? But there was a unit during World War II called the Ghost Army. Anybody know what the Ghost Army was? It's really kind of cool. The Ghost Army was stationed in Europe, and what the Ghost Army was employed to do was create camouflage. So they would go to battlefronts and create things like fake tanks. Kelly loved this. He would help create these kind of backdrops and scenery to trick the Axis powers, to trick the bad guys into thinking there were Allied troops present in a certain location. Yeah, they did it in Normandy. Yeah, there's a movie about the Ghost Army. There is still some money. And in fact, Kelly won the Congressional Medal, the Congressional Gold Medal of Honor on March 21st, posthumously, I guess he received it, March 21st, 2024. So he loved it. And the Ghost Army was filled with other artists and designers who became influences and mentors for him in his artistic career. The other great thing about the Army for him and many Americans was that when he left the Army after the war, he was able to study on what was called the GI Bill. And with the GI Bill, he went to art school. He studied at the School of the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston from 1946 to 47, and then went to the École Nationale Supérieure des Beaux-Arts in Paris. He fell crazy in love with the French and lived in France for 6 years. He heard lectures by Max Beckmann and Paul Cézanne. He met John Cage and Merce Cunningham. He met Jean Arc, the surrealist French artist. And most important, he met Constantin Brancusi. Brancusi was a seminal genius sculptor who made these extraordinary sculptures that were all about simplified, graceful form. And they blew Kelly's mind. He'd never seen anything like it. And at that stage in his career, he went from drawing the figure, which he was quite good at, to doing these kinds of images about form. He became enamored with form. And he decided that art was not about capturing and freezing in time what was real, but was more about capturing the essence of what was real. And he felt that was the basic elements of art: form, color, line, shape. And that's when his work started becoming more and more abstract. He started looking very carefully at the Impressionists. He loved Monet's garden paintings and started looking at the reflections on water, just like the Impressionists did, and started just trying to capture the shapes of those reflections and shadows, not the actual water itself, but the fleeting impressions left behind by the forms of the shadows. All right. He stayed in France for 6 years, never mastered French. This was problematic for him. He only sold one painting. And finally, he was evicted from his atelier and decided, maybe I better go back to America. Things ain't so great for me here. So he came back to New York in 1953 and found that it was equally difficult in New York. He was not accepted. He'd been away too long. His work was so different from what was popular in New York City at that time. As I mentioned before, people like Pollock and de Kooning were ascendant. That very quick, loose, abstract expressionism was really very popular at that time. Nothing like this was anything anybody was familiar with. So he struggled in the early days of his career. But in 1956, he had his first solo New York City exhibition at the Betty Parsons Gallery. He sold 3 pieces, and some were selected to be shown at the Whitney Museum of the American Arts exhibit, Young America 1957. They were considered to be radical, but he got some critical press from it, which helped launch his career. At that point, he was living in Coenties Slip, which it was a part of Lower Manhattan, where many artists live. Remember Agnes Martin? We just talked about her recently, another minimalist painter. They were close friends, and all these artists were living together. It's called Coenties Slip. Coenties, new word, slip, S-L-I-P.
It's like a pier, right?
It is.
Pier.
It is. Yes. Right. And it's 27 West 67th Street. So it's not really lower. It's West 67th Street. Yeah.
Which river?
West 67th Street. It would be our river, the Hudson. Okay. So things were moving along slowly for him there. So in 1970, he moved with his partner, Jack Shear, to Spencertown. No, sorry, that's wrong. He moved in 1970 alone to Spencertown and was joined by his partner, Jack Shear, who was a photographer in 1984. And he lived there until his death and worked in a 20,000 square foot studio that was built for him. 20,000 feet. Can you imagine? Whew, I would be so happy. And the two of them built a wonderful home. And Shear, his partner, is still to this day, I believe, the director of the Ellsworth Kelly Foundation. In 2015, Ellsworth Kelly gifted his building design concept for a site of contemplation to the Blanton Museum of Art at the University of Texas in Austin, and it is titled Austin.
I just met somebody who came back from Austin and showed me pictures of that museum.
How do you like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's gorgeous. Gorgeous.
I love it. You don't have pictures to share with us, do you? I would love to see it. I've never seen it myself. This is a stone building, huge stone building, which features colored glass windows, a totemic wood sculpture, and black and white marble panels. It is the only building Kelly designed, and is his most monumental work. It opened in 2018. Kelly died in Spencertown, New York on December 27th, 2015, aged 92. All right, let's keep looking at his work. I love this painting, not so much because of the big yellow shape, but because of what it does to everything around it. Notice how close the yellow form is to the edges of this picture. It creates such a tension and dynamic with that blue form. To me, it's thrilling that he knew to make that shape big enough to fill up that whole blue space. Is pretty awesome to me. So one of the things that I love about art is what we call positive and negative space. And Kelly was a master at this. He knew how to create this dynamic tension between space and form. The way things relate to each other, the edges of things relate to each other. Almost touch, but not quite touch. So the way things surround and envelope each other is visually exciting.
What is positive? What is negative?
Aha, very good question from Eileen. What is positive and what is negative? It depends on the viewer. For me, the negative space, for me personally, the negative space is the yellow. Many people might see that as the positive. So it's a personal decision.
How big is that painting in real life?
Very big. I don't know the exact dimensions.
Or like 2,000.
Sorry, Lindsay, I don't keep that kind of information.
But like, so like the wall size.
It's, yeah.
They're bigger than what's on the screen right
Oh, absolutely, much bigger.
now. I figured 20,000 square
Yeah.
feet that is being.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's wall size either, but it's several feet. You know, it might be 4 feet by 6 feet, something like that. So it's quite large.
What makes it negative to you?
I feel as if the yellow is going inwards. Another great question from Eileen. For me, negative space is the open, empty space. For those of you who are here, look at me. This is a negative shape to me. You know, when we're drawing from life, and I say, look at the negative space. If you can draw this shape, the positive shape will be easier for you to see.
Sure.
So for me, negative space is that
What is it?
inward
It's
punch.
It's color, that's different.
Aha. Color adds a whole different dimension to the painting. It adds this visual excitement. So the yellow might make it positive for you. But for me, it still feels like a cutout shape.
So would positive be like if the yellow was construction paper and you put it like on top? Well,
That's
negative is, like,
another
cutout.
thing. If it's collage and this is a solid shape, you might read it as positive also. So there are all kinds of things that come into play
If you
with
made-
positive, negative.
If you made the black line, or the line, but no, the blue, I'm sorry, if you put a black line on the inside of the yellow right on the edge, you could make it pop out or go in.
That would really change it also. Yep. Yep. So Heather is also saying, if you were to outline this lemon shade, it would also change the perception of what it is. So now we're getting into the science of visual perception now, which also fascinated Ellsworth Kelly, although he doesn't really talk about it a lot in what he does. I'm going to go to the next picture, Eileen, okay?
I look at that and you're saying, like, I'm looking, as if I'm looking at a line drawing. I was going to the yellow, like, and now at this point, it's annoying to me. I don't know why, but it's annoying. Is that negative or positive? That's fine.
I don't know how to answer that question, kid. I don't know. I don't know. If it's annoying to you, I would say it's a negative. I'm sorry. I want you to love this man's work. I want you to love this man's work. Yes, Connie.
I don't know if it's just the slide or if it's the painting. It doesn't seem like solid green. Did he put color
That's
upon
the
color?
slide.
That's the slide. Did he just use
That's
like
a good question. Did he paint layer upon layer? Later in life, he did get more painterly in his work. In his early works, everything's very smooth. But as he got older, that he got more involved with brushstroke. But initially, he was trying to make everything as pure and elemental as possible. Yeah. I want to read a very long quote from him, okay? Because I think it's going to help you understand. Everybody ready? But I want to change the picture or we're never going to get to have fun on our own.
My son's annoying these days.
All right, here's what Kelly has to say about his own work. And it's long, so hang in there. I think what we all want from art is a sense of fixity, a sense of opposing the chaos of daily living. This is an illusion, of course. Canvas rots. paint changes color, but you keep trying to freeze the world as if you could make it last forever. In a sense, what I've tried to capture is the reality of flux, to keep art an open, incomplete situation, to get at the rapture of seeing. I realized I don't want to compose pictures. I wanted to find them. I felt that my vision was choosing things out there in the world and presenting them. To me, the investigation of perception was of the greatest interest. There was so much to see, and it all looked fantastic to me. I hope that helps. So these rounded shapes came late to him. Most of his work, it was like this, very angular, sharp-edged. Color block, color field, minimalist, things
Lee,
like this.
Lee,
Yes.
Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie. You have a question or comment?
No, it looks like a Paul Klee.
Ah, looks like Paul Klee. Looks like a Mondrian. Mondrian was another influence of his. Remember that painting, Broadway Boogie Woogie? We looked at it, I think, last year when we were talking about French-speaking artists in July. You're going to hate this one, Eileen. It's going to drive you nuts. Notice how very similar to the lemon painting, but he's turned the forms, turned them all around. He's changed the color. Look how different this is.
It looks like it's hard to figure out what it wants to be. This one.
Okay.
See some.
Also reminds me of another famous color block theorist, Joseph Albers. We have talked about him in the past. We did squares within squares within squares. Albers was really Albers, Eileen. He was really more of a scientist in his approach to color theory. So later in his career, Kelly fell in love with plants and plant forms, and he created much more organic form in his work, but with the same intent. He was all about the form of the shape of the leaves. He pared them down to their essential shape, used bright color. Look at the negative shape. Look at this. Love this little tiny blue shape here, and then this tiny crack here between that part of the leaf. Notice the way it almost touches the outer edge of the canvas, but not quite.
How about the top of the painting? Is it just cut off?
No, it's this stupid toolbar,
So,
which I can't.
That's okay, so the top of the paint of orange does not exceed the canvas.
No, he never did.
Next.
It's the neck. No, the Mets, I think. This is one of my favorite color combos. Remember our color wheel, blue and orange opposite each other on the color wheel. He did many, many black and white images. The power of this one is, I think, astounding. And it looks so simple. You look at this and you think, anybody can do this. My response is, they didn't. He did.
Timothy edges.
Nike copied him, don't you think? Connie, go ahead.
The edges of that white are interesting.
Here
It
it's
looks-
touching.
it
Look,
looks
it's
like
touching the.
photography.
So I lied. He did have it
But
touch there.
it looks- I don't know if it's totally touching, but it looks like a photographic
Could be.
negative or something. The way it's.
Yes.
colored.
Yep. Well, he lived with a photographer for years. Maybe he was inspired. This is one of his drawings, an ink drawing. I love this.
I like this.
Is it the only one you like, Margot? Curious.
No, I like the blue and orange one too.
Okay. You like the more organic forms.
I guess. I think it creates more interesting negative space.
I agree. Yeah, these are less appealing to me. So these are what launched his career, though.
When he does a similar thing in color, it's fabulous.
Okay, you prefer them in color than in black and white.
Color's fabulous.
Now this, I think, is pretty terrific. Oh, and it's the color form is touching the edges. So I stand corrected on that. But the negative, to me, the white in this one is the negative space. And I love, he came to triangles also late in his career, in the 70s. Well, not late, but mid-career, I guess. And look, it's very different. This one is very, very, very different. This is an early work. I think this may be the last. Oh no, this is one of my favorites.
Boxer shorts.
Yeah, it does. Somebody's, looks like somebody's bottom. Well, I'm glad it's making you laugh. And here's more of his plant shapes. It's lovely. And here, you know how I'm an advocate of always fill in the background space. And he
Yeah.
didn't. He did not. It is beautiful. One of his drawings. Oh, forgot to tell you the most important thing about Ellsworth Kelly. One of the reasons he became an artist was because someone, when he was young, introduced him to blind contour drawing.
Yes.
And he felt that that captured the essence of art, of what art should be. So this is a blind contour drawing, everyone.
What does that mean?
Mine don't look like that ever.
Blind contour, you have done these drawings, Connie, with me. When you look at the object, but not at the paper. In those days, it was called automatic drawing. And I forced many people in this room and at home on Zoom to do blind contour. And he absolutely loved it. This is some kind of plant form, right? Looks like an orchid or a lily or
I don't know. I was going to ask you, what was he drawing from?
some kind of flower, I think. Or a peeled mango with none of the fruit left. It's a very powerful drawing. Here's another blind contour. So there is value to what I teach you. This man was one of the greatest influences on modern art today. You see in art museums and galleries today, was contributed by Ellsworth Kelly, influencing other artists. And there we go with the slideshow. All right, so final thoughts, comments?
I just want to ask about when he does blind contour. It looks like something that you can recognize. When we did it, we never recognized it. I didn't.
All right, Eileen,
He's an artist.
he's a professional artist, probably doing it way longer than you have. Every single day of his life, he probably does blind contour. Yeah. And you notice I was guessing what he was drawing. I have no idea what those shapes were. So I could be entirely wrong. Might have been something else. Okay. All right. So we are going to paint today. And I have two different techniques for doing the kind of painting that you can do today. Those of you who are here, you can get large white paper. You may pour out the acrylic paint. There are paper plates that Laura has kindly provided us with. There are tiny cups for water. There are paintbrushes at the back, and there are pencils. That's basically all you will need today. If you are adverse to painting, you could do this project in marker or colored pencil, and they're available to you as well. There are also scissors and tape back there, but I would prefer you not take those two items just yet. I'm going to show you how to use them. Folks at home, all you need is paper, either paint or markers, crayons, or colored pencils. And if you do have tape and scissors available to you, they will be helpful as well. Any questions about materials today? Watercolor will work in this project also. But acrylic, I think, will be more effective if you're lucky enough to have it, folks at home. Last chance for questions. Speak now or forever hold your peace. All right, so I'm gonna get the materials for our demo. I'm gonna unpin myself. I always love saying that. And momentarily, you will see me doing the demo, everyone. After the demo, I will put up an Ellsworth Kelly painting. For those of you who like copying artwork, that's an excellent way to learn. You may get your supplies. Paper, ink, pencil. You don't need the scissors and tape yet. Although veteran students have seen me do this before, but if you don't remember, you don't take the scissors yet. Lisa, you don't have a jacket. No, mine's stronger. Your size is longer. No, why is it break? What do you put me? Yeah. My paper, I think. I don't know how many. Mine is 60.
this is bigger than my phone. This is 7. And then mine is, was. I agree. And my, all the other one. Yes. So we are not black.
Oh, we could do black box. Oh, I'm sure. Where your bird.
That's great.
There are also little cups.
Oh, that was fun. How long do you have to take this? Oh, well, we had like,
I should be working too. Just red, yellow, and blue. I want to use it.
ask for a donation. Something back in order. Oh, okay.
All right.
You have questions, or do you need questions?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Just about ready for the demo.
I thought, I'm going to come about April. Next time.
Perfect. Ready for the demo. Thank you, Heather. And always tell the art teacher in the room. Heather used to run an art school. Heather did? Yes. I'm starting the demonstration. If you want to watch me, you need to come now. Susie? And so if you want your shapes to be what we call hard edge and uniform, you can take this blue tape, which is called painter's tape, and you can create shapes. Now, we've done this before. So you're looking at folks and I'm having deja vu. And this is one technique you can use today. You want your square to have perfect hard edges. Use it. I am not sure how got such perfect work. They had this one back in the day. Use oils and acrylic, very high quality acrylics, which are very thick. This paint is very thin and watery, so you're gonna get some bleeding underneath. If you're worried about that, I wouldn't See how I'm being sloppy and going over the edges of the tape? If you're worried about getting bleeding on the edges, I wouldn't be sloppy. You might want to be careful, and avoid the edges. But I'm too impatient an artist. You don't like streaks like this, you want to use a brush with a broad tip. Slow cover, make flatter surface. Everybody understand what I mean by that? You want a brush with a wider tip, more hair on the end. Now, you can do lots of shapes, you just have to add one. I don't know if this green tape will work, but you can try it. This may be regular masking tape, it's just colored green. This is a particular kind of tape, it's called painter's tape. Professional house painters use it to do edging, you know, around windows and stuff like that. And it's designed to peel off easily. So hopefully, if there's not a lot of bleeding, when you peel the tape off, when you peel the tape off, it'll be a nice neat edge. Okay. It bled a little.
I think
It's a little messy.
At least the what? With painter's tape, I heard you should peel off slightly what? You're not completely
Yes,
dry.
you don't want to wait till it's completely dry. Thank you, Lynn. If you wait till it's completely dry, then it's going to stick to the paint and it's just going to rip. Okay. So I did it very fast and sloppy. Another trick you can do, I would press the edge with your nail, press the inner edge with your nail before you start painting to make sure it's a little flatter than the rest of the tape. That might prevent the bleeding. Another technique you can do for this project is called stenciling. Stenciling is great because then you can do the same shape multiple times. If you're a precision person, I did forget to bring rulers today, but you can use a piece of paper to draw sharp edges. Stenciling is now really using the negative shape. It's not straight, but hard to see. Folded the paper in half. A heart down, so it's just cutting half of the shape. Open it up, and there's our negative space. Down. And again, remember this paint is very thin. So you need to press down on the paper of the stencil. Careful at the edges. Keep it flat. Mixing these colors with white.
Oh,
So
I
what
didn't give you one.
There's white in the box, in the part. If you mix it with white, it'll make it paper. He didn't mix colors, but that doesn't mean he's. Now this you should probably wait till it's a little bit drier before you lift it. And you can create stencils and you can do all of them. And the nice thing about stenciling is you can do ranch. Yes. You can do the more organic shapes. Stencil. You can do circular things. Do more of the organic. You know, if you're into those beautiful plant shapes. See, but the important thing is you must cut in the middle of the fold. But you get the idea. Yeah. You could work with a partner, someone is willing to hold your stencil down and keep it firm for you, or you can be. Here's when stenciling won't work, watch. So you're on the fold. And you do this. Not gonna work, watch. Put on the edge, the fold, the piece just falls out. And you don't get a negative space like this. You have to do it in the middle, not on the corner. I will be around to help. Have fun, everybody. Actually, this is, I was gonna give it to Heather, but did you form more thing?
I just saw my water. I don't know.
I don't know. Here's your one. Scissors and tape. The way you can share the tape is to cut yourself a long piece and tape it to the edge of your table, and then people can come and get it. You know what I'm saying? You can cut several long pieces and tape it to the edge of your table. I don't know if the green's gonna work. Oh, it is, yeah. Some brand or green. I didn't know where it came from, just suddenly appeared. Ouch. I brought it just. Stop. So now I'm gonna put an elsewhere Kelly up her face. Yeah, this is a beautiful line to cut. See how big it is? It feels like. Be careful when you peel the tape. If you do it too fast, you're gonna rip your paper. And then screws up your shape. Peel the tape slowly. And don't press the tape too hard. Eileen, look at that. What? It's great.
I used to throw it on my face.
Sometimes copies would be better. Or worse. That works. Yeah.
Blow the tape slowly. Don't let the paint dry. See what happens. This is what happens when the paint is too dry.
So we can go dry.
You have to paint quickly. And don't press the tape down too hard. You can do it, it works. But there are tricks and rules of the game. Indian artist, yes. Oh. We talked about the match. Right? They're inspired by the match. Artist. In fact, her last name is she drew the match. Wow. Look her up. Turn the AC off. It's a little better in here now, right? It's very cold. It's still very cold. Okay. I am going to find a lovely Ellsworth Kelly piece of art.
Oh. May I see the green organic, painting?
Let's see. Does everyone want the organic image of Ellsworth Kelly?
Yeah. May I see that?
Okay.
Yeah, that one, that one.
I do.
I want to take a
Yeah, that's 3 out of, I don't know how many people are here, so
I'm gonna take a photo.
I want to take it
And
organic.
Yeah, that's what's good. So that's really nice. I'm gonna take a photo of that.
I have to open it and then I will share it.
Just hold on themselves. Okay. Alright.
And he did many of these. If you Google Ellsworth Kelly, you will find Ellsworth Kelly plants. That's what I would recommend. Have fun, everybody. Can't wait to see what we create. Yes, you can move that. Thank you.
Now we're gonna do this with our elephant there.
Okay, so here's Susie. Here's the thing I got. Council member.
Okay.
That's easy. When is that? When is that dance? Tonight, go, Susie's waiting for you. Susie, you're going to the dancing tonight? Yes. Oh, and then lost it. That was so great.
Where do you think you're going?
Yes.
All right. Here's my. Ooh. Oh. One of these in.
That's the best.
Now you will do something to me.
All right. No.
I'm coming, sorry.
Margot?
Yeah.
I was helping Susie, sorry.
Okay.
What's up? Are you okay?
Yeah, everything's fine. Everything's
Oh.
good.
Okay. Your cat clawing you. What happened?
My cat is annoying me, yes. Let me show you. Get this video off. Can you see him?
No. I want to, but I do not. Maybe because I'm in sharing mode. Oh, no, that's your drawing. I can see your wonderful drawing. I thought that was Stephanie's drawing. Stephanie, you have this Paul Clay-like image. Yes.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I did that a while ago. That was really a project.
I can tell.
Wow, I wanted to stop so many times.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Work effort. Margot, I still can't see the cat, but I can see your terrific drawing. Well, I'm going to come back to look at the cat. Give me a yell when the cat is available. Come to use the fine point brush in the edges. Yeah, but for the edges, if you want to control the shape. It's not right on the fin, but it's very sexy. Okay, I do. I find it very this one.
they're not like, they're not joined to each other. They're sort of,
They overlap, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
They touch, but they overlap.
yeah. I tried to look at the negative space and do that, but it didn't work.
And Judy, you might want to, since you finished this part, you might want to start peeling. You don't want it to be dry. Because it'll tear.
Oh,
Okay, so I would start peeling the part that's finished.
oh, okay.
You're welcome. That's there. Ready to paint. That's a sketch, doesn't have to be. Yes, that's a stencil.
Is the green? I don't know.
It's a blue. You. Like you should. I think you do have some.
I know, I was gonna start again, but I'm not. I mean, I just want it. I was literally trying to look at the negative space and draw that, and not the green. Which is hard, but I.
You always choose the hardest. Now, you're using small paper, so these
you know
big
what?
brushes might be too big. That's all I wanted to say. I'm not criticizing my creative and saying those brushes might be too big.
I'll discover that.
Every time the teacher talks to you, doesn't mean she's ready. Okay? So I'm trying to say. Thank you.
No.
They may not know it. This might have been subliminal.
So when
No, they don't want to do that. I was sent text, Twitter, text, a Twitter announcement from the council member.
Okay, so
If you go to the Hoboken City website, it should be there. It's the Hoboken City website has the calendar of all the summer events. Yeah. It's on Hoboken City. City in
my
Jersey.
phone is too in French, but you had to use my phone. So my phone's in French. No, I'm trying to use my phone once.
City of Hoboken. Dot New
I'm
Jersey.
doing Duolingo,
That is
so I'm
the
at
official
200.
website. I would go
I'm stuck.
News and updates.
That's the thing, I don't know how to pronounce anything. I still need to look into.
Yeah.
Just take the time. and like, okay, just do some stuff.
There's Center City, Defense Library champion. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But I also like it because some-
Or there's a search bar. Summer.
Yes. Right? One,
One can finish.
I'm finished. This is, and the minimum is, well.
What's that term again?
The
You said minimum?
minimum.
Oh, oh, I thought it was some sort of class, some kind of art. Yes, I've seen that. Yes, I've seen that.
I would say this is the city of West. I think it's not.
$1,000 frame.
Summer students, okay.
Summer
Summer
students.
students. What's that? Summer students.
Oh, my.
Class,
What?
is it salsa class you're looking for?
There should be a Latin ballroom dance class. I'm trying to find out if it's every Tuesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday? Or just Tuesday?
Every Tuesday, maybe.
That's today's date?
What?
Today's date? Today? Tonight?
No, I
Oh,
don't think
yes,
it's
tonight.
tonight. I was wrong about that. I think it's Tuesday. So I'm giving up on the city website. Classes.
Oh, you know what it was? It's probably fitness in the car. That's what would be.
That's what it is.
Every Tuesday?
Yeah, posted by local fitness studios, so it's not that it changes. Year A, Monday, Tuesday.
So this Latin dancing is not every Tuesday. Does it change every Tuesday?
Here, this is a park, it's off the June 10th, and once again, we'll have a series of sample classes hosted by local fitness studios that work around the clock. There's 3 different locations. Year A is on Monday. Full schedule of all 2024 programs and, also
Yeah, but it doesn't say. So it's yesterday. No, but it's the
Oh, the
last
specific
dancing.
thing, apparently it's everything, it just changes. Fitness in the park. Oh, yeah, here's public things and all the.
So that was yesterday.
Pilates is next week.
So it's not every Tuesday.
No, it's into. Yeah, so fitness in that market, so yesterday. Pilates.
Wonder if they have Latin or we have some other part.
Pilates, next Tuesday. Also on Monday, that's. Kickboxing. The other time, it's, at 45. Oh, next, on the 14th of August, we'll have basketball. And we're gonna City Park. City. So it's 12.
Okay, by the
Okay,
shop.
that's coming, August 14th. August 14th.
Write that down.
I'll write it down.
August.
And it's a Wednesday.
Wednesday. Wednesday, 6 to 7.
Yeah.
Only 1 hour? Yes, I'll take that. City Park. With Lion City Park,
Yeah,
yes.
12,000. August.
The one by the shop.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lindsay.
No problem.
It's just not normal. So I need to, also, I just don't want you to trip.
I have a French friend at least.
It's having this.
I think, they didn't look. Yellow and the day. No, what is this? The yellow.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You did this a la Kelly or was your teacher?
Okay, I'm definitely more of a visual.
Inspired by the shows.
Did you watch the French?
Saw the sketch.
It was not in the car.
More season than that, the less I like it.
I'm glad I read that.
So nice.
Maybe we'll stay a little longer.
Yeah.
Try that way like that.
Yeah. One way.
Yes, that probably didn't go down well. You go, Connie's painting up a storm here. I like how you got very physical about it. That's great. Yeah. Yes, sir.
You know,
That's why I like to stand up when I
did a
do.
lot of house paint.
I didn't know that. Okay,
Maybe-
it's a
maybe not
noble
people.
profession.
I did it for myself, you know, and friends.
Oh.
Professional.
Oh, I'm looking for somebody to paint the spiral staircase in my house. You know, I have an old row house
Mm.
and the paint is chipping off the steps. It's driving me nuts.
Oh, inside? Wow. Yeah. It's a good. That's very satisfying work. I think.
I've used every kind of paint under the sun except boat. I'm getting ready to buy boat paint.
Mm.
But there's so many layers of paint and the wood is so soft and old.
Oh, yeah,
That
you don't want to
it's-
strip it.
Oh no. We tried to strip it 40 years ago when I first came to Hoboken and it was too hard. Everybody good? Robin, I have not heard a peep from you. Robin, I bet you're going to love this one because you're my color queen. You're happy?
Hi, Liz. I love
Yeah.
what you've talked about and shown us. I'm in the middle of making a frame, painting a frame around a photo for my son's Father's Day.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't have any other chance to do it, so I'm just
Go for it.
doing that.
Do the
But-
frame a la Kelly.
I should.
Just teasing.
Maybe I'll do another one. Thanks, though.
And you could come to this afternoon's class if you have time and do your Kelly.
Yeah, well,
Bees-
I have to go to physical therapy at 12.
Oh, well,
And it's
if
right around the corner from you, so I'm thinking about that. But I
Oh,
also have to go and
oh,
get a print of the photo, and I don't know if the CVS in Hoboken does that or not. So anyway, I'm kind of,
they do print photos at CVS.
is it the one on 14th? Do you know, or there's
Oh, I
another?
don't know if they do. I know the one downtown does. Call and find out.
I will. Okay,
right.
thank you.
But we
Thanks.
would love to see you in person. It's been
Thank
a
you. Been a long time.
yeah. Fantastic. This- You have the patience and the skill to do it. Yeah, but be careful of the payment strokes. Stick with the red. The good. Don't leave it too long because it will tear. Oh my gosh, am I gonna have enough blue tape for my afternoon class? Think about that. It's expensive. I'm gonna get that on the. Yes, about it. And so it's not very fine. Averages. Oh, we need a pill. So the- yes, Unless it's an election. Or if they're doing vaccination. Which hopefully they won't go through that. Do it bigger now, please. Susie? This great horn should be large. Do it big. Yes, thank you. Let's wait till Heather comes back. Or maybe I'll do it twice. So next Wednesday, there is no art class. The library is closed. It is Juneteenth. No art class next week. Most of these people were in yesterday's class. I told you yesterday. Listen. So that's,
You said something about that.
I did.
What?
It's Connie, didn't I tell everybody yesterday that Juneteenth?
I didn't hear.
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. I'm sorry. So you said it to Susie.
Talking about Juneteenth yesterday.
It's all in your imaginings.
The library is closed next week. We have an American holiday, national holiday called Juneteenth. There's no art class next week.
It's my son's
The
birthday.
Juneteenth is a wonderful holiday. It is.
You have to explain the pronunciation and the grammar.
Oh, God. I'll let you do it.
All right.
I'm hungry. What happened was President Lincoln announced the emancipation of people enslaved. The people of Texas didn't get the news till how many years later? Forget.
Until today.
And-
It was June 19th.
And they heard not 1865, on the day that Lincoln made the announcement. They didn't hear until a whole lot later, on June 19th, when Union soldiers came and told them that they were free, that the American people were free. And that became a huge holiday. But recently it became a national holiday. So banks are closed, Wall Street is closed,
Wow.
libraries, the post office will be closed.
All government stuff.
All government stuff will be closed.
They celebrate it in, right, did they not celebrate it in some deep south states?
It's a federal.
It's a federal holiday, they must celebrate.
Do they celebrate?
Yes, it's a federal holiday.
Just put the flags upside down.
That's right.
I saw a picture of
That was
on
touche.
his,
That was good.
wife.
Okay.
Next Thursday, my resolution.
Wow. We gotta get a dentist license. So,
Okay, now let's do this. Some picture. Ah.
Right by the gas station.
By the Starbucks.
Oh.
It's always there. Beautiful texture.
You know, remember the first time I ever painted? You remember my first painting? No. Yeah, so I had to, I mean, was it one cafe?
Yes, I remember
And I
that.
came around and said, yeah, it's a little red. It's like, something with the red in it.
I put it.
Well, you told me. So this is sort of, you showed it though.
Red seems like.
This is just plain.
I don't think. Let's say this.
Shooting, oh, sorry.
And one thing, once you put your art out into the world, you have to be prepared for people in Somebody walks by and says, I know that they know what to say. That's interesting to speak. I'm glad you were.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Almost every week. Yeah.
Very slow. Slow and steady. So folks at home, I don't know if you heard me, but there is no art class next week. It is a national holiday, Juneteenth. The library will be closed. Those of you who are true art lovers and or gluttons for punishment, you could go back and watch old classes on YouTube.
You have old classes on YouTube?
Yeah, they're all archived on YouTube.
Serious?
I believe that's true. Once something is on YouTube, it's on YouTube forever. Art with Liz. So do we want to share? If we want to share, we have 4 minutes. If we want to keep working, we could, work a little bit longer. It's entirely up to everyone. Oh, as soon as I say share, Susie is ready to cut and run. So cute, Susie. She doesn't like to share. No, we have like 4 minutes till sharing time. So if you want, you could start cleaning.
Every night? That's their first. The name is not.
Hi, Liz. It's Robin. I have to leave. I'm getting picked up
Oh,
for my
no.
physical therapy. But
Okay,
maybe I'll
good
see you this afternoon.
okay.
Okay.
That would be awesome. Good luck with your physical therapy. I hope it goes well. Who wants to share?
one thing, try this at home. Well, it's cheap. But you should use it. Oh, you know, so keep going. Okay, this- Class, so I used to- Thank you for that. Any magazine? I have a pile of them. What kind?
I have a lot of different options, architectural digest, some of the more like fashion ones.
Yeah, if you have ones with, large faces on it, but especially ones that look.
Okay. That's, yeah,
Yeah,
inside,
that I
Cosmo,
would be happy.
the face ones.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fashion.
I signed up for like 3 magazines, and then I ended up getting a bunch of them.
More than you ever dreamed of. Yeah.
And I-
Okay, sorry, let's share. In-house, you go first today. I'm gonna stop the share of this picture, sorry. And Connie is eager to share her wonderful painting, so I'm gonna let her go first. Come on up to the camera. Be careful of the wires, please.
Yeah, it should look, yeah.
Very Kelly-like.
I
Wonderful shit. Oh, go
wanted- yeah,
ahead.
I wanted to get more movement in like the second in the middle figure. So if I do it again, I want to like move it over and catch that curve. And I was thinking of a salamander.
Nice.
Thank you.
I like when you talk about your work. Very nice. You were literally inspired by a photograph of a salamander. I didn't even realize that. That's awesome.
It's like to make it not look like.
Okay,
And-
here we
Anyone else want to share? Alice?
fall apart.
Well, I was wondering what Kelly would do with a
Figure.
figure. So the
Right.
minimalist of a figure.
Very
Is that
nice.
print or is that just a freehand? Is that print?
That's just with
Paint.
magic marker.
Oh, I thought you did that with paint.
It's actually magic marker.
Nice.
Very delicate.
Beautifully done. Here comes Eileen. I love this. So you were inspired by the plant painting, correct?
Yes.
Great color, great texture, great form. Very nice. Watch the wires. Judy, you want to share? Anyone else? You're not finished? Are you coming back this afternoon, I hope? Esty, Lisa, you want to share? Not today. Lindsay? Lindsay's coming. So Lindsay used the stenciling technique, which I love. Isn't that great? Really worked well. So some advice, Lindsay helped me remember. I should have told everyone earlier. If you use a heavier weight paper to cut your stencils, it works a whole lot better. Unfortunately, I had none available to bring with me today for folks to use, but the cardboard that I would recommend for you to create stencils from is something called tag board. It's a cardboard that's nice. It's thin enough to cut with scissors, but heavy enough to use for stenciling. All right. Anyone else here who wants to share? Heather? Oh, Judy, come on up. Go ahead. Beautiful. So Judy really used the tape technique, I think, quite successfully. Came out very nicely. Well done. Anyone else? All right, folks at home. Stephanie, you want to share?
I did something last night that I wanted to finish, so.
Oh my. So what have you used in this drawing?
Just a little yellow pencil.
Okay.
And, one of these.
Stump?
And a couple of little erasers. That's it.
So did you lay the dark ground down first and then erased out?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Especially with the hair and the beard.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
How long did it take you to draw?
Oh, a couple of hours.
Couple of hours, she said, Lisa.
I started it last night and I just was doing it now. So definitely a couple of hours. Yeah. I didn't like him to begin with, but I think he's kind of cute.
I like him. I like him.
Where do you get your stick erase?
I buy everything on Amazon. I have like a couple of these things.
You can get them at Blick's.
Oh, they're fabulous. Just Amazon. So this one does wide erasures, like the hair. And you can do, this is the fine one. It's a mono. Let's see, what is it called? Tom mono.
So this is a technique that I've never taught. You
Oh,
can
it's great for hair.
get a dark ground and then erase your whites out of the dark shadow.
Right.
Right.
You know, you can make the curlicues and stuff like that. And
It's a
it's
great
really,
deal of
good
fun.
for
Yes.
hair,
Yep.
especially like these.
Yeah. You can get very dramatic highlights that way.
Oh, it's great. I love it.
We'll do in the fall, we're going to go back to figurative work. And if you remind me, we'll do some of this.
Okay.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right, Margot.
I couldn't find my materials, so I made a bracelet instead.
Well, first you have to go on camera. There you go.
I said I couldn't find materials, so I made a bracelet instead.
Oh, yeah, your favorite thing to do.
Oh, Margot makes the best bracelets.
Thank you.
Those who don't know, Margot's a great jewelry maker.
Yes, she is.
Did this one before.
What are your beads made out of?
There's yellow jade and lapis here, and these are alite and amazonite.
What was the first?
Yellow jade.
No. The first, I didn't hear the name of the bead, the first bead in the second bracelet. Ammonite, was it?
Amazonite.
Amazonite. That's, I don't even know what that is. I never heard of that before. Cool.
Now, can you hold it up again, Margot? Is it a necklace?
No,
Oh,
it's
I
a bracelet.
love it. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I really like this one.
Good.
Oh, I
I
love
did. There's a star and
it's
a
that
little-
white one.
It's an elephant.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Thank
Oh, and
you.
a star. I love it.
Yeah. I like stars.
Gotta have it. Love it.
Would have been great for our class yesterday. We looked at images of Ganesh.
Oh, yeah. No, I was intrigued by that, but I couldn't get away. I did want- Do you have any t-shirts left?
Nope, sorry.
Yeah,
All
gotta get-
gone. Used the last one yesterday.
Yeah.
All right. Well, folks here, thank you for sharing, Margot. Reminder, save your artwork for our art show coming up in September. Folks here, it's time for us to clean up.
Do we have a date yet?
No, Laura and I are going to discuss that today, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Okay.
Don't forget, folks, there is no art class next week. When next
Oh,
week,
boo-hoo.
it will be the last
LGBT.
class of June, our last LGBTQ plus artist. Until then, enjoy art on, get into New York to see some art or anywhere else to see some art. Yep, and if you want to come back this afternoon to see more of Ellsworth Kelly and do more painting, please do. You will, those of you attending from home, you will have to register again because there will be a new link.
I heard you. Okay, I'll try that.
Awesome. All right, tell everyone you know about Art with Liz. Get out there, enjoy the sun. If you're coming back here in person. All right.
Liz, have a nice weekend.
You too, everyone.